Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. Talking real estate, we have with us Gabriela Lira. She is a real estate broker with Compass Realty. And, all right, I wanted to ask about inspections.
Sure.
So you said, obviously, when you were on a few months ago and the real estate market was just booming, people often would buy without an inspection. Yeah, waive the inspection. Don't need to do it, just want to get the contract. Now people are doing inspections.
That's right.
What are the things, if you had a client, did an inspection, it came back, what are the things that you would say maybe you should look elsewhere?
Well, I will tell you that there are two things that really scare buyers, and that is structural issues of any sort, and then water intrusion issues also. Those are two big red flags, things that can be resolved, right? Everything is fixable, if you will. You can repair those things, but it depends on whether you are willing to take on that project or not.
So those two things. A new roof. Is that a big deal?
A new roof is also a big deal. You know, when sellers go to sell, if they have lived in the property, then they have to fill out a document that's called a Tennessee Property Condition Disclosure. And within this document, they have to disclose what systems they have in the house, they have to disclose the age of the roof, and they have to disclose if they know that something is not operational.
So let's say I want to sell my house,
sure,
and someone does an inspection and they find one of those things you mentioned, a structural problem. And then they say, I'm not going to buy your house now. I then want to sell my house still. Do I have to tell everyone who comes in based on the inspection that was done, am I now aware of it and I'm bound to tell people, or
yes,
what about that?
Yes. So if you become aware of it, if they present you with an inspection report or a report from a structural engineer that shows you that you have this problem, you will then have to disclose it. And I have been in this situation in the past, and what my clients opted to do was actually take the home off the market for a month while they made this repair, and then they went back on market. They still had to disclose that this repair was made, which came with a lengthy warranty, of course, but they decided to make the repair.
Interesting. What about renting now? Are rents going up, and what about that whole market right now?
So rents, similar to prices in the past few years, have just skyrocketed. I saw one of those midtown apartment complexes where they were actually kind of auctioning off the penthouse. They didn't put a price on it. They were saying, we're going to hold bids for this amount of time and see what is the highest bidder for a rental unit, believe it or not, which is just crazy and outrageous to me, but they got top dollar for it. And now what we're seeing, I just read an article just yesterday that it seems like rents are also stabilizing.
Rents are stabilizing. So when I hear this, it does concern me. It concerns me for a lot of first-time home buyers. Rents have gone up. Now, I guess that's good. They're stabilizing. Housing prices, we've gone through some of the numbers. They're just so high. And so it worries me for first-time home buyers. For my kids, when they want to turn around and buy a house, is housing going to be affordable for the next generation? Where are we headed?
Well, not just for the next generation, right, but for the working class, right, and for low-income people. And so we're definitely having an affordable housing crisis. That is not a secret. I hear the city government constantly holding roundtables and coming up with ideas to potentially incentivize developers to build low-income housing. It's a problem.
And you're in that world. What can be done about it?
It is a very, very complicated answer, right? But you will need, in my opinion, some private-public partnerships to make it happen. You will need to incentivize builders and developers to want to build that type of a product. You will have to set aside land within, the confines of Davidson County for these living quarters, because we can't push people out into the outskirts when they have to come into the city to work.
That is, yeah, a very tough issue. Okay, so we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll basically wrap everything up right after this.